Hello guys, this is Rattue 498 and this is a 3 versus 4 commentary battle on Napoleon Total War. To start with, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who subscribed. I'm now over 500, so thank you very much for everyone for doing that. Playing in this game, we've got myself, Banashri Tarleton and Terminator, all from the Huntsman clan. And we're playing on the attacking side on Waterloo, and we're going to try and attack the 4 defenders on the hill. So my build, I have just got literally all shooter cav for France. Terminator has a pretty standard build. This was kind of an accident. This was supposed to be a grassy game, grassy flatlands, so it was kind of a mistake really. So these two have both got grassy builds. So it's just basically normal 5 lights and all the rest rudder with the same foot guard and loads of line and a few cav. The opponents, the rules were no art, max 5 lights. The opponents, 2 of them brought artillery, which made life a little bit more difficult. This guy didn't really use it, so that wasn't so bad. So we've got 1 player GB, 1 player Denmark, and we've got a Prussia and a France at the bottom side as well. So this was going to be extremely tough. Basically, defending on this map is really easy. So attacking on it with less numbers is surprisingly hard. So we're going to skip it forward to where the engagement's going to start. This is Terminator's army, and I'm going to be supporting Terminator with my cav. He's going to be attacking on the far left side against the GB player. So this is the furthest side you can go towards our left. And it has this little road coming up on the Waterloo map, which is pretty much where you want to be attacking from. Everything has to go up this road, realistically, to get round. The opponent's made a mistake. He didn't take the house, so it gave us 1 house advantage as well, so we took hold of that. My cav are going to start coming through. This battle, basically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to use my cav to disrupt everything I can. And I'm going to constantly be switching from unit to unit, stopping them from firing, making them square, harassing them, countering cav if cav comes down, and things like that, when Terminator's hopefully going to be able to just sit back and shoot them all up. So Denmark send a cav unit through. My cav are going through. As I say, I'm just going to hit a unit and I'm going to move straight to the next one. So my cav are going to keep harassing all these GB units, stop them all from firing. And Terminator, you see at the top there, he's got a lot of his units firing in. He's got 4 units in the house, I believe, most of them are fencibles, which is the militia for GB. Termi formed a square up as the Denmark cav came down. He's got a couple of light units at the top. They're just there basically, but they're doing a job as well. They're holding up all the rest of his units, so they're doing a good job there as well. My cav are going in. These French cav are really good, basically. The best kind of cav in the game, French cav. So having quite a few of them is always handy. But everything kind of went to plan in a way, with the way we wanted to try and play it. So another cav charge came down there from the Denmark players, I believe, or was it GB? No, Denmark. There's more Denmark cav come down. As you can see, all Termi's guys are in the house, so they're going to be shooting off. So they're managing to shoot up these Denmark cav pretty easily, really. My cav are worn out, so I'm going to send another couple of cav units through. And basically, I'm just sending them in groups of maybe 2s or 3s, just to come in, just to do enough disturbance, just to let Termi keep shooting them up. And basically, we have to take this part of the hill. This is the most important point in the battle, really, where if we can get hold of this hill and we can get some units up on the hill and we're fighting level ground, then we stand a much better chance. So we have to get on top of this hill. So as you can see now, Termi's doing a great job at shooting up these units. My cav is still just holding everything up, and as soon as these units at the front here have been destroyed, all these GB cav and that, we'll be able to start moving up the hill. We've killed the GB's general, so his units will rout away with a couple of decent cav charges, with a bit of infantry support. They'll rout away pretty quick. So my cav are just going through now. As you can see, a couple of units there at the bottom, and Termi's starting to advance a bit more up the hill, and he's got a foot guard unit, a couple of lights up here already, and they're going to start going around the flank to get themselves in a level position to start fighting. So my cav are routing away a couple of units at the back there, and Termi's, you can see now, he's reformed a line up, and he's got his lights in front, and now basically he's got up the hill. So that was a good job from him there, getting up the hill that quickly. Another cav unit coming in, Danish cav unit. So loads of support from the other players as well coming across here. I've got Prussian units, French units and Danish units over here when we were facing the GB opponent, so they sent a lot of support across as well. I'm sending some more cav in now, and I'm going to go around the flank. This is Banastri, hasn't really moved yet. He sent a couple of units across, but basically we've still got a full army in reserve. So my cav units are just going to start going around and getting on the flank of my opponent. So there's still quite a bit of Danish cav floating around in there, and some more over here as well. These are Lifeguard, I believe. Lifeguard a horse. So pretty decent cav units. Denmark's basic only strength is their elite units. Their normal units suck pretty badly. So as you can see now, they're going to try and reform another lineup. And with my cav floating around there, the idea is just keep them going into squares or keep them in melee, and then they can't really do anything about it. So that's kind of the general idea. The Prussian guy's now got a few Lancer units over here as well. So Termi's lights, I believe, are in melee. And the rest of his units are just shooting them up, and the artillery started off. So we've now got artillery shooting down on us as well. As I said before, this was a no-art game, so there was a couple of bits of cheating going on, especially on a map like this where we're trying to attack completely against the odds up a hill against more men. The art really wasn't helpful. But I sent my cav in. The Prussian Lancers then countercharged. Seeing I was in trouble, I believe I sent some more cav up in a second, but Termi's guys are shooting them all. They're shooting them all up quite nicely. He had to form a square there. It's one of the Prussian Lancers went into one of his foot guard units. And here's my extra cav coming up. So there's 3 more shooter cav going to come up into the battle. And we should be able to get rid of these Lancers pretty quickly with these French cav around. Lancers are only good with their charge bonus. As soon as you get rid of their charge bonus and get them into actual melee, then really isn't too much of a problem. As you can see at the top there, more of my French cav going across. Basically, as I said, we just want to use the French cav just to get us in the position we need to be. These GB lines are absolutely amazing in this game, so you want to use your French cav to get yourself into position, and then the GB line should just be able to shoot everything up. So in this game, basically, I was more like cannon fodder, I suppose. Just basically sacrificing my units. So there's my French cav there. I mean, Termi here is doing an absolutely amazing job, basically. He's getting his units positioned in the perfect timing and everything, just so he can shoot up everything, just going into square or melee. So he's done a really, really, really good job getting up this hill. He has. So a couple of Prussian units floating around there, a few Prussian lines. Some French lines in the centre there, just getting shot up. So now more GB units are going to start pulling over the top of the hill. I believe Banastri sends a couple of guard units over now as well. One of the French units goes in for melee, we're out off before it even gets there. I believe most of those cav units I sent in earlier are now dead. As you can see, the corpses all over the floor. So here's the Prussians reformed. And they got a pretty straight line, but as you can see, GB Termi's lines are exactly the same, and Termi has better lines, so they'll be able to win this. But as you can see here, there's a Lancer unit coming through, and I decided to counter that, so I send one of my cav through. Coming in the top of the screen there, you can see here come my cav. And I believe, I'm not sure whether he tried to get him into mine or his, into my cav or his lines, but either way, I sent mine straight through into his lines. I don't agree with attacking cav with cav unless it's completely necessary. And that was one place there where it was necessary because Tommy failed to form a square up, so I had to do something about those cav there, so I just quickly charged them and then charged through. So now I've got my 5 more of my cav units there, which as I see he's going to form squares up. I pull him out. And Tommy here's reformed again. He's squared up his units as there's some French lancers floating around. I believe they're lancers. So he squared up some more of his units. And as you can see, I got the units into square. Tommy moved his lines up. So as I said before, basically he's doing absolutely everything right here. There's nothing he could be doing better. With now that it's more even like this, we've actually probably got about the same amount of numbers in army wise. Because I used all my cav as kind of like the units that were going to die, if you like to say, then basically because of that, Tommy's army wasn't really that badly damaged. Banashee still had a full army. As you can see now, he's sending his cav through. So realistically, it was quite a easy get up the hill, to be completely honest, because of the fact that we didn't lose that many men. You still see the huge amount of GB lines and that we've still got over here, and they're really, really important. I believe I've got about 8, 9 cav units left as well, so they're going to help us push through these Prussian lines a little bit more as well. So in a second, Banashee's going to start moving forward. In a minute, I think Banashee's going to start moving forward. When I tell him it's all clear that this lot we've got up here, basically, I says he just moves his army forward and pins the front line in position so we can start wrapping round. I believe he also sends quite a few units up to the hill to lend Tommy a hand, as now he's fighting the Prussian. Better units the Prussians have, so they've got some really good lights, so if he's taking shots from their lights, which is there's 2 light units, which I probably should have helped out a little bit more and dealt with. I've got a couple of spare cav units over there doing nothing. I probably should have chased them away as he was moving up, but I suppose didn't want to make it too easy for him. So yeah, there's the Prussian lights. And Tommy's just moving his lines up so they're getting into range and everything. But I believe they're shooting quite a lot of the hill anyway at the moment. There's some more Tommy's units around the flank now. I get caught out here. Pretty much lose basically an entire cav unit. I wasn't watching what was going on this flank for a second, and noticed that one of my cav units was getting shot at. So I have to just bust my cav all through. So they managed to get through. They get a couple of decent hits. I think 1 square was formed by the Prussian, but other than that they got some decent hits. But because the squares are formed, yet again Tommy can just move up and he's going to shoot them up, which is kind of the exact way you want to be using your cav all the time, really, not just in big games but in 1v1s and everything like that. Your cav is there to disturb your opponent's lines, stop them firing. Don't waste your time going cav on cav battles. Let your line infantry deal with that. One simple square you can destroy an entire cav unit, so use your cav wisely and make sure that they are there to disturb all the lines as possible. So now I believe Ben's got a couple of extra guard units up on this hill as well. I believe his are the ones to the left, I'm not 100% sure. I'm afraid it doesn't say in the replays who's who. But as you can see now, if you have a little look up at the minimap, you're going to notice now that we are kind of encircled round, and that we do actually have a better position now. Still a couple of houses to take, so it isn't over yet. But we have a much better position. And as you can see, we've got huge amounts of lines left as well. When the Huntsman lads tend to take GB, you do tend to you're going to see at least like 9 or 10 lines sat in front of you. So they have some pretty good builds. So the lines, as you see, they're all moving forward in one line. This is the flank where we're weakest, and we're probably going to lose that flank. We've only got 2 cav units left now, and my general, which I'm going to use through to bust an opening here. So in a minute I'm going to bust these through. Here they come. Managed to get a hit on them, and that's going to stop firing. Just going to save more GB units, and I bust straight through again into the French player behind. And there's another foot guard unit in behind them, so I'm going to get shot up a little bit. But I managed to rat away that Fusilier unit. Let's say, I mean, my kills in this are actually hilarious compared to Termi's. They are. I was very upset about it. I do enjoy getting most kills in the games. I really do. But we have kind of like a little competition, me and Banastri especially, where he does enjoy trying to steal my kills. But I send my other cav unit through, and they're going to get a decent hit in as well. I'm going to try and get them into the foot guards. Charging cav with your foot guards is a very good idea, obviously, but if you're going to do it, you want to make sure you get a decent charge in, because in melee these guys do tend to seem to do a decent job against cav, so you want to make sure you get a decent charge in the back of them or something, just to make sure you do rout them away. So I managed to rout away that Danish unit there as well. Basically, I'm not doing this from the amount of kills I'm getting from the hits, I'm doing it from the shock of it all. They get routed away from the shock, and then the idea is when your unit is routing away, you send in more cav to finish it off, clean it up, or the line unit shoot it up so it don't come back. What we didn't want to happen as well was a huge amount of units getting routed away just by the shock of the attack, and then them all to come back later on and from behind us and kick us in the arse. So we had to be very careful of that as well. So now, as you can see, we're coming up to near the end of this battle, where it's going to be a case of going for these houses. We're clearing off the units in the open pretty comfortably at the moment, not really having too much of a problem. There's a couple of units down here which are still causing us a bit of trouble, but other than that we're cleaning them off pretty nicely. As I say, Ben's still got 5 lights and about 4 or 5 lines over there as well, so which he hasn't even used yet, so it's going to be pretty comfortable. I believe he's going in for melee in one of the houses as well now, so I believe he's started already trying to take this house. Yeah, with 1 or 2 lines. We'll have a little look inside the house. Doesn't seem to be enough room in there for them, but there we go. So this is in the courtyard. As you can see, I believe the Danish unit's in there against the GB unit. That's my general that just died, I believe. My last cav unit. And we'll go and have a look inside the house. And as you can see, they're trying to come in through the doors. Basically, these houses aren't as difficult to take as you'd think. People like putting lights and stuff inside the house. Really no good. Militia aren't so bad. They're better than lights if you want to put them inside. But realistically, you want a good guard unit. Me and Tommy did a 2v4 on this, where we defended the hill. I took France, had an old guard in each of the houses for him. And it's kind of, you want to get a decent guard unit in those houses, because it does waste a lot of your opponent's men, getting someone decent in those houses. So this is one of the GB lines. And this is a really good map. It's a shame how many people do tend to camp on this hill, which makes it a lot less fun. People actually do listen to the old attacker defend a bit at the beginning when you're loading up. One side's the attacker, one side's the defender, when it's not that way at all. It doesn't have to be that. Just play it however you want to play it, and that's fine. On this game, we kind of wanted them to defend, because we wanted to try and assault this hill 3v4 and see how it went. And it went surprisingly well. As I say, we weren't supposed to be on this map. It was supposed to be grassy flatlands. But as it turned out into a really, really, really enjoyable game. Termi said to me afterwards how intense he found the game. So it really was very good fun, actually trying to attack this hill like this. So this is just a melee battle now between some foot guard units, and I believe it's a Connaught Rangers, not 100% sure. And more GB lines moving up. And I believe we're going to take control of the house in a minute, which is something we need to do. But first we've got to get rid of these fucking Fusiliers. They really are annoying. These Prussian Fusiliers, they're so accurate with their fire. One decent volley of them, and there's quite a few of them there. One decent volley of them, and that's it. And obviously I've got no cav left, so now it's just going to be the line push, which is the only way to really get rid of them now. The French have some artillery left over here, but that's about it. And they have 2 houses they're still in control of. So they've got this house with the Danish in, which I believe they're just about to lose. You see lots of dead corpses in there. This little corner here is all that's left of the Danish forces. The rest of it's taken over by GB in the house and everything. Look, you see the GB soldiers in the house. They're all GB, so that's all fine. So they've taken control of the house, I believe. Oh no, maybe a couple of units in there as well. So there's not many units left in this house. So I think Banastri sorted this. So Banastri will take that very, very shortly. Yeah, there we go. 1 unit left in there now. And then that's basically it. As you can see, I've got rid of the Prussian Fusiliers as well in the centre. So they're now gone. I think in the end Tommy just went melee with his lights, or Ben went melee with his lights. And as you can see, the house symbol came down, so we've just taken that house from the Danish as well. So there's one more house left at the end, and there's these artillery pieces just left to get rid of. So I think I'm going to be skipping it forward in a second. So I'm going to take this opportunity to say good game to everyone. That was a thoroughly enjoyable game. Oh yeah, I decide to have a little look through the window here in a second. It's actually quite good. I mean, if any of you haven't got their own restricted camera, seriously get it and have a good look around the maps. They're quite good, apart from the lack of furniture in the houses. They're actually pretty good. Here we go, and have a little look through the window. You can see the GB units coming up on them. So, but as I said anyway, this was a great game. Thank you everyone for playing. Thoroughly enjoyable. Thank you to all the opponents. I believe we had one dropper? I'm not sure. I think it was the French guy. The GB giant guy rage quit after we beat him, but I think the French guy dropped out just towards the end. But anyway, thank you all for watching the video. Please rate, comment and subscribe. And as you see, just finishing off the artillery as the rest of his units are coming down. I believe Tommy's got a few units left and Ben's got the majority of the army left here, I believe. Please rate, comment and subscribe. Also 2v2 Napoleon Total War tournament going on. Registration's open, twreplays.com. Please come and at least have a look and get involved if you want to, but it's going to be a good tournament, so try and get yourselves involved, get yourself a partner. It's just a bit of fun, but there are two Steam games up for the winners, so the winning team gets 2 games. So I hope you'll go and have a look at that. Also check out my other channels lists, and I thank you all for watching. And this will pretty much be the end of the battle now. You can see there's one more general left to die, and that's it. So that's that now, guys. So thank you very much, and I'll catch you all later. Check out my other channels lists. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.